So model number 8, you can see we've got some tooth surface loss going on. There's been a partial denture here before at some point. We've got this tooth that's quite rotated, so there's going to need to be some work done before any partial denture is provided. If we were going to, again, I haven't got the opposing model to this one, so we're just working with what we've got for the minute. We've got a saddle area here. If we wanted to provide a tooth-borne denture, bounded saddle, so we're going to want support either side of the bounded saddle. This tooth doesn't look sensible for providing support, so I'd probably come onto the canine here and then make provision for adding this one onto the denture if necessary by bringing the metalwork up behind this tooth, a bit like a reciprocating plate, and putting some retentive features in it so that that tooth could be bonded on if it was lost in the future. And then we could look at providing a gingerly approaching clasp like so onto the canine on each side, and then clasping the molar tooth as well. So again, wrapping a clasp all the way around the tooth like so, and then joining this lot up, something like this. And again, this is a free end saddle, so thinking about indirect retention, we've got our clasp tips there, we'll be rotating in this direction, and this will provide the support. Really, if you're looking at this case, something needs doing probably with this tooth, and we'd really want some kind of restoration on this tooth before we start putting a cingulum rest on. So knowing what the design is going to look like may influence the treatment that you're going to provide. So this may want an indirect restoration on there to provide support for the partial denture, so we can incorporate something in it onto it. If not, whether it's being built up with composite, bearing in mind that it needs to be built up in composite with being mindful that we're going to put some supportive elements on there. Okay, if we were doing this as a mucosa-borne denture, a lot more simple really. So big saddle area again, and we're going to come up and onto this 7, round to the canine, onto the canine, across onto the canine on the other side, and then we can bring the acrylic work around this tooth in case we need to add it on. Limit the occlusal table, and then we can clasp in the similar ways we have done before by putting wrought wire clasps onto these abutment teeth. With regards to path of insertion, path of displacement, you'd make the path of insertion equal the path of displacement for these, whether they are tooth-borne or mucosa-borne, because trying to negotiate around this teeth would be quite a challenge. Okay, so that's tooth-borne and mucosa-borne for that one. Right, final pair coming up.